Back to Karu Khan School, your savior, your instructor, your experienced chess veteran is here to pass on his knowledge to you. Now, we talked this many, many times. What is the best reply to pawn to e4? The Karu Khan defense. There is no opening like the Karu Khan defense. The Karu Khan defense is solid. At the same time, you're able to play for the win. You're able to keep that flexibility, that solidity. You can always change up and mix up things. Today, we will look at a game where I crushed an almost 2300 FIDE rated player with the Karu Khan defense. And only with the Karu Khan defense you can get these kind of wins. So pawn to e4 was played. And here we enter the main line in the Karukan. And I play the modern main line with knight to f6 for you more seasoned chess players who've been around and know a bit about the game. This won't be the first time you see this. But for you amateurs who are tuning in for fun and want to learn some things from Chess Master Alan, well, I'll explain some things. So black doubles his pawns voluntarily. However, he opens his bishop, takes control over the e-file, and these pawns will protect his king. His king will be much more safe when it comes to this side. So white played pawn to c3. The idea is after bishop to d6, he can now develop his bishop to d3. Black castles. White played queen to c2. Attacking the pawn on h7. I throw in a rook check here. Knight e2 and pawn to h5. Again, for those more seasoned chess players, this is not the first time you are seeing this. This is a very modern approach to the opening. And the idea is that after castle, white castles, black plays h4. And he's going all the way with his pawn. First of all, the pawn stops the white knight from coming to g3. And the pawn can be used as a literal battering ram against the white king side in the future. White played knight to f4 here. The idea of this move is a very tricky move. He wants to bring his queen back to d1 and then bring it to h5 and look to mate the black king. But I am no patzer. I am no amateur of the game. I'm a seasoned chess master. I knew this move and I knew exactly how to react it. I played queen to c7. First of all, attacking his knight and eyeing the pawn on h2. He had to play pawn to g3, not a pleasant move defending his knight. I brought my knight in the game with the idea that after queen to d1, the knight comes to f8, defending against any mating threats. His queen arrived to h5, attacking the pawn on h4. And here I was very satisfied with the move I played. I knew this move, the very unique and very exquisite, classy move, queen to d7. The idea is seen that the queen is actually eyeing the g4 square, and maybe in the future black can swing the queen across to g4 or even h3. After pawn to a4, it was a new move for me. I never seen this move before. I struck with pawn to g5, kicking his knight back, and after his knight moves, queen to h3. My queen has done a very fancy maneuver. Came across now to the king side, and the position it looks like black is not, his pawns are in front of his king. Shouldn't you not play like this? In general, no. However, it's very concrete. There's a spin against the pawn on g3, it cannot move. And for now, moves like bishop g4 can be threatened. Here my opponent, he struck out with bishop takes g5. What? The guy blunder something? No. If I take here, he would simply recapture, and then my king is getting very open. I don't like the look of things here. And on top of that, if you move king to h8, there's queen to h6, winning the bishop on d6. After pawn takes g3, queen takes h3, bishop captures h3, and then bishop captures f6. So what's going on here? Let's count the material here. So it seems for now that I played, first of all, I played pawn takes h2, grabbing the free pawn, why not? King h1, and now the material here, it looks, in fact, let's count the pawns. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. For those of you who are now starting chess, that's how you should count the material. And white has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as well. So the material is equal. However, this pawn on h2 is a very big menace. I played knight to g6 simply. Knight to g6 with many different ideas. The main idea is that I don't like this looking on the G file here. In the future, you may play some F4, take this pawn back. We never know, that may come at some point. And then maybe I will double my rooks. And here my opponent immediately went wrong. He captured on G6. And after pawn takes, he played rook A to E1. And I immediately won the game in the next few moves here. I captured on E1. He cannot take with the knight because of the pin. Took with the rook. And I played rook to F8. And now eyeing the pawn on F2. Very precarious position here. And he played bishop to E7. And he completely missed the move. Rook to E8. The game is done here. And the idea is that after bishop D6, bishop captures G2 in between move. Check. If he captures here, I take on E1. He captured on H2 first. I still took on E1. And after king G2, I bring my king to the center. Bring the king. Provoke his pawn. Force his bishop to a weak square. Bring the king. Attack the pawn. Take the pawn. Play pawn to A5. Fixing his weak pawn on A4. And after king to G5, my king enters the position. King enters. And simply I cut off his king here. At this point, the opponent resigned. I'm simply going to win his pawn on A4, and his king is too far from the game. This is how you play the Caro-Kann defense. Caro-Kann defense, best opening against pawn to E4. Yeah, that's what you have to do. That's really the move to be played, as you can see from this game. This is the real opening here, guys. Caro-Kann, this guy, he got blown away. He got completely crushed. The guy got destroyed. Play the Caro-Kann.